The statistics speak for themselves, but you cannot put into words the feeling that surrounds this event, the history, the energy, the spine-tingling emotion, which all come together to make the Circuit of Ireland.
3, 2, 1, go. 6 left, 60.
Last year we were treated to incredible competition as Craig Breen and Robbie Barrable battled away at the front of the field. Throughout each class there were dramas and epic tales to be told, and this year will be no different. A record number of R5 cars line up to start the event. ERC, the Clonakilty Black Pudding Irish Tarmac Championship and the British Rally Championship are all represented. 2 days of competition beckon for the crews. Famous landmarks, classic stages, and every season of weather is waiting to welcome them. I mentioned the circuit has a history. Well, it doesn't quite go far back as the Irish Linen Centre in Lisbon, the site for the ceremonial start, and where some pretty special hand-woven prizes are being made, ready for the winning crews. Last year, Craig Breen realised a dream by winning the circuit. Can he do it again?
Last year was great, fantastic memories. I will never forget that, that whole weekend and the atmosphere. But yeah, back to give it another go. It was a fantastic opportunity from Lakeland Tyres and a lot of local friends and companies from my home place and far afield that managed to get us here. So it's an exciting weekend.
Elvin, we're at the Circuit of Ireland. The sun is shining right now, but the weather has been pretty bad over the past few days, and we've just had lots of rain. Difficult conditions this year.
Yeah, definitely. It's not going to be easy for sure. We've just done free practice now, and that's got very, very dirty over just 2 passes already. So, yeah, the rally will be tough. Quite long as well, actually. So, yeah, we're in for a good weekend.
Keith, you're leading the Irish Tarmac Championship as we come to the Circuit of Ireland. There's a great lineup here. How confident are you feeling going into it?
Conditions look like they're going to be a bit tricky, so we'll just have to see as the rally goes on. We've had a couple of runs there. It is going to be tricky. There's already been people off in the test, so no, it's going to be a tough rally.
Alistair, are you feeling pressure coming into this event? Circuit of Ireland, big history for you with your family connection, of course, and championship. What are you thinking coming into this one?
It's a very special rally. A lot of history with Uncle Bertie. Haven't been successful in an event before. We're looking forward to the challenge. The stages are they're definitely very worthy of a round of the European Championship, and it's going to be a tough event.
The Irish Tarmac boys will be judging their pace against the European stars this weekend, with 2015 ERC champion Kaito Kaitanovic keen to challenge for the win after sealing second position last year.
You've had a taste of them stages today, so are you confident for tomorrow?
Yes, I did on the qualifying stage a few mistakes, but hopefully we can do our job tomorrow.
The Circuit of Ireland celebrates its 85th event, and in light of that, a few Irish celebrities were out to mark the occasion.
They're celebrating their 85th anniversary this year, and you've been around for a good lot of them years.
And I remember it used to go all around Ireland. I remember it used to even go to my hometown, Kelty, years and years ago, and everybody would watch all the cars. And here I am now, and it's amazing, sitting in one of these rally cars.
I'm sure now you have a newfound respect for the guys that actually sit behind these wheels.
It's a craft, it's an art, and you have to learn it. And you have to put that boot down, and you just need amazing self-control.
There may have been a little rain, but the crowds came out in force for the start in Lisbon. They were treated to an evening filled with rally cars and the weight of expectation of what's to come.
After tonight's celebrations are over here at the ceremonial start in Lisburn, the drivers will go out tomorrow and tackle the roads of Northern Ireland for some fantastic tarmac stages.
And fantastic they are. Day one marks a change from last year. The drivers will head to the north of Belfast, and the day features, amongst others, the longest stage of the rally, the Glens, at just over 30 kilometres. It's a fusion of 3 stages joined together, including the iconic Tor Head. A true challenge for our drivers then. You never know what you might find in the Northern Irish countryside. Llama, anyone? One thing's for sure, there'll be plenty of rally fans around, and luckily for them, day one started with dry weather. Last year's winner Craig Breen got off to a good start. He was 4th on the road after qualifying. There were a few slides on the opening stages for him, and he was faced with more mud than he expected on stage 2. But it was in stage 3 where Breen and Martin came into their own, setting a time 25 seconds quicker than anyone else. Welsh crew Elfyn Evans and Craig Parry had qualified fastest and opted for first on the road. They took the lead on the opening stage, and on the second stage were complaining of power steering problems. They still led the rally, however. Then they stopped on the Glens with an overheating engine. Game over for day one. The man who took second here last year and is a big fan of this event, Kaito Kaitanovic, had made a mistake with his setup, thinking the conditions would be wet. This hampered him on the first 2 stages, but by stage 3, he was up to 3rd. For our Clonakilty Black Pudding Irish Tarmac Championship leader Keith Cronin, things were not so rosy. A slight off on stage 1 caused damage to the radiator. They tried in vain for a fix, but it meant complete retirement from the event for our series leader. Another Irish tarmac contender, Alistair Fisher, was hoping to make up for the disappointment of West Cork by getting some good points on the board here. He was another driver who found it drier than expected. After running in 3rd place, they dropped to 4th after stage 2, then back up to 3rd with the retirement of Evans. He was the leading Irish Tarmac Championship driver. For Swedish driver Fredrik Olin, this would be his first tarmac event in 4 years, and first ever in a 4-wheel drive car. Despite being up against some of the strongest tarmac drivers around, Olin was holding his own and was 4th after 3 stages. In his Skoda Super 2000, Marty McCormack was setting some great pace and was happy with his performance so far.
Middle of a flat crest jump, 40, we brake over the jump. Middle of a jump now, 40, we brake for the jump, and 2 right keep in, 2 right keep in. Right of a big jump goes left.
Marty, it looks as if it's been a good morning out there for you. We've seen some competitive times. Are you happy with your run?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we've had a really good clean run over the first 2 stages. Our times are thereabouts in the middle of the pack, and the last stage there over Glendon Tor Head, 30-kilometre stage, big challenge, but we were thereabouts again. Really happy to be right in the middle of the pack where we're at the moment.
Josh Moffat and John Rowan took away 3rd overall last year and were keen to relive that glory. After 3 stages, they were just behind McCormack by 5 seconds. Czech driver Jaromír Tarabas was up in 7th after stage 3 and was another driver who'd taken a complete wet setup. Johnny Greer and Kirsty Riddick, 8th overall for them and 3rd for the Irish Tarmac Championship. They, like a few others, were scoring points for multiple championships during the weekend. In 9th were Sam Moffat and Carl Atkinson. They had experienced problems right from the start, a clutch problem slowing their charge. They were hoping to make it through to the end of the day.
And flat 5 right at the bottom, 130.
Right entry chicane, 4 bales. It's grippy ahead. 200 to the bottom.
Just outside the top 10 was Joe McGonigal and Kieran Geeney. They were reporting that they'd been off the road no less than 4 times. Bit of a dramatic morning then. Tom Cave and James Morgan were bedding themselves in, adjusting setup and adapting to the car and the stages here at the circuit. They were just 5/10 behind McGonigal. Joe and Richard Connolly were getting their taste of the jumps here at the circuit this weekend. This was from stage 3, the Glens.
Go, go, go. 60. Crest jump middle, go for it. Right 6 past the farm, go for it. Go on. 40. Hold on. Now jump middle, easy now. Hold on. 6, easy. Left one down here. Left one down here. They were severe. Yeah, they were. Now right.
Now, these trees may look familiar if you're a fan of Game of Thrones, the Dark Hedges, an epic sight to catch up with the man who dominated the 31k stage, Craig Breen.
Craig, what an epic start to the Circuit of Ireland. What an incredible stage, the Glens. You're now leading. How are you feeling?
To be honest with you, my head is still in the stage. I'm all over the place. It's just the most amazing bit of road I've ever been on in my life. Been in there a few times, but not at that speed. It's just simply breathtaking. That was a big loop, and it's nice to be leading the rally into the first service, but still a long way to go.
An incredible time in that stage for Craig and Scott, but as he says, there's still a long way to go here. Now, at the last event in West Cork, we saw Craig as a marshal. Here, it's the turn of Gary Jennings.
What does it feel like standing on the side of the road?
Yeah, I think I'll tell you in about 10 minutes' time. It's been a long time for my marshalling event as well, but Bobby was looking for as much help as he could get for the circuit, so we thought if we couldn't do it, we'd come out and show our support. So the whole team's come up today to help, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these boys go.
Many people eat, sleep and breathe rally. For these boys this weekend, sleeping in a cosy camper van and rustling up a stage-side bacon sarnie is the way to go.
Gareth, Logan and Murray, I think we've found the dedicated rally fans that we've been looking for. You've travelled from the Scottish borders to be here this weekend.
Yeah.
So how long have you been here?
Been here since late on Tuesday night. We got the 11:30 ferry over. And just been roughing it since.
Anyone in particular that you've come here to Northern Ireland to watch this weekend?
Well, there's a few local boys. We do have Ewan Thilburn from mine and Gareth's neck of the woods, and there's David Bogey from where Murray lives. But I'm here to support Frank Kelly, keeping us sideways all the way.
Well, we go back to the action on the stages now with Bex.
Let's turn our attention now to the National Championship. In the lead there, Derek McGarity and Barry McNulty. After stage 3, Wesley Patterson and Johnny Baird had climbed to 2nd position from 4th.
Centre over crest jump and dip 150. Turn tight square left, don't cut. No escape. No escape. 200.
Frank Kelly had been in 2nd position, but suffered an engine problem right at the start of stage 3. In their Mark II Escort, Declan McNaughton and Sean Haid were in 3rd overall.
One right long, 40, mud maybe. 2 left in the mid over small crest, 2 left here, mid over small crest, 150. To chicane, you'll see it.
So this is how it stands here so far at the Circuit of Ireland. Craig Breen leads, Kaitanovic 2nd, Alistair Fisher 3rd and leading for the Irish Tarmac Championship. In the National, Derek McGarity is at the helm.
Well, here we are at the Bushmills Distillery taking time out, and what better place could we be in on a day like this? The Circuit of Ireland rally is well underway, but so far we've seen the retirement of the Irish Tarmac Championship leader Keith Cronin and this morning's leader of the rally, Elfyn Evans. No doubt there will be plenty more surprises in store for us as the day progresses. Join us after the break for more.
Welcome back to the 3rd round of the Clonakilty Black Pudding Irish Tarmac Championship, the Circuit of Ireland. And after a fairly dry morning, the weather has well and truly turned, which the Ducks are pretty happy with, but how about our drivers? Alistair Fisher is currently 3rd overall and leading for the Irish Tarmac Championship.
I always feel fairly confident in the wet, to be honest. Hopefully we can settle in again now after service and go for it again.
A confident and motivated Alistair Fisher there. The times are tight at the top, so we should see a good display across the afternoon. Rally leader Craig Breen showing us just how much standing water there is on the road. Very tricky conditions here on the first stage out of service. The second run of Knockboy. Craig and Scott set the fastest times on the 2 afternoon stages and extend their lead to 36.1 seconds over this man, Kaito Kaitanovic, who set good pace on stage 4, but was slightly cautious on stage 5 with all the standing water. Alistair Fisher and Gordon Noble took a little time out of Kaitanovic on stage 5 to move within just 5.6 seconds of second place. It seems that time away from Tarmac hasn't stopped Frederick Olin from setting great pace. Second quickest on stage 5.
Talk to me about what it's like being a Swedish driver coming to Ireland. What do you think of the circuit of Ireland?
It's incredible stages. They have a little bit of everything. For sure, it's very, very hard. It's not the same thing as driving, like on gravel, because you can push more on gravel. Here you need to be a little bit more careful how you push and where you push. So, yeah, just gonna need to learn it.
There was a great battle between Olin in 4th and Marty McCormack in 5th, just 2.6 seconds separating them after 5 stages.
Big jump, 40, big jump, 40, left over jump, 2 right, and 1 left, 40, right over jump, right over jump, 60, brake 5 left, 6 right now, narrow bridge.
His running order wasn't the best, but Josh Moffat was in 7th overall after stage 5, just losing a place to Jaromir Tarabas, who'd moved up into 6th. Brother Sam was in 9th. As you can see, the weather conditions weren't improving. Luckily, it wasn't putting anyone off, even if they are normally used to the sunshine.
Well, the Circuit of Ireland Rally attracts people from all over the world, and these two guys can prove that. Ronan and Como,
correct.
you have travelled from Barbados to be here this weekend.
That's right. Indirectly, I study in Oxford, but I'm from Barbados. Been up here in the UK for the last 2 years. We obviously, as you know probably, we have the huge Soul Rally Barbados back home, so we're massively into our rally.
I'm sure the countryside is very different to back home in Barbados.
It is, definitely. The sceneries are fantastic. It's a bit colder weather than we're used to, but all in all, we're really enjoying it.
Johnny Greer and Kirsty Riddick were having a great run, 10th overall, just 2.5 seconds behind Sam Moffat. The Super 2000 of Joe McGonigal was working hard against the R5s. He'd slid back to 12th overall, just behind Tom Cave. Stephen Wright and James Fulton were 14th. They didn't quite get into a rhythm on the morning stages, but things were definitely improving in the afternoon. The R2 winner from Galway and West Cork, Callum Devine, wasn't faring so well. A broken drive shaft on stage 2 forced him into Rally 2. Ahead in 7th were William Crichton and Liam Regan, the leading Irish Tarmac R2 pair. Elsewhere, Patrick Kearney and Alistair Wiley were in 31st overall with their Mitsubishi Lancer, just 5 seconds adrift of Gus Kearney and Thomas Hayes, of course in identical machinery.
Repeat, 3 right in minus, into 4 left minus over big crest, jump, into 4 right over crest, jump, into 4 left over crossroads, 40, 4 left over crossroads, 40 to 4 right minus, 40 to 3 left.
ERC 3 runners Giacomo Scatalon and Paolo Zanini were adapting to the tricky conditions that the circuit was throwing up. But one man who was revelling in them was Wojciech Kuśla in his Subaru Impreza, an impressive 16th overall. The event passes many homes along the route. Maureen Ballantyne was delighted to have the rally running past her house on the Knockboy stage.
How do you feel when you see the cars coming round this junction?
Oh, the hairs are standing on the back of my neck. Honestly, that's putting it mildly.
Well, I hope that excitement continues and enjoy the weekend, Maureen.
Thank you.
And the boys were putting on a fine display as they passed by. In the National, Derek McGarity continued to lead and extend his lead over Wesley Patterson and Johnny Baird, who'd had a good run during the afternoon. Just some minor glitches to be sorted at service.
We can sense a little bit of pressure here in service this evening. Tell us what's going on.
Damaged the exhaust and it's rubbing on the bodywork. It's causing a bad vibration, so the boys are just trying to get it sorted now. But everything else in the car's going good.
Declan McNaughton and Sean Haid were third after stage 5, but after a tussle with a hay bale on Newton Ards, they dropped down to 4th. Davy Armstrong and Martin McGarity were 24th overall in the National at the end of the opening day. Modified Championship leaders Ross Marshall and Dave Robson were having a good day and were keen to see how they would fare against the talented Tarmac Masters of Ireland.
The best Tarmac drivers are over here in Ireland and the best Tarmac roads are over here in Ireland, so no, it's good.
You are never too young to start cleaning a rally car. Over at the Moffat service area, there was some serious work being done. Sam had struggled with the car all day and now it was time to sort it. A full gearbox change required.
We're halfway through the first stage. I thought I broke a drive shaft, but seems to me there's a small segment of oil just dripping into the clutch and it's causing it to slip in high gears. We don't understand why it's only high gears. There's a lot of questions, so I know credit to Tom here and the team. They're working fierce hard here and hopefully now we can get the gearbox changed and have a good tear at this tomorrow.
There was a more relaxed atmosphere over at the service area of Craig Breen and Scott Martin. They built a lead of 36 seconds with one stage remaining today. Not a bad day's work in the office.
Yeah, of course, we're over the moon. I think it's one of the most enjoyable days rallying I've ever had. The stages were absolutely fantastic, and at least we got one dry run over the Tar Head stage, so I'll never forget that, I don't think, for the rest of my life. It was just simply out of this world.
So our rally leaders at the moment, Craig Breen and Scott Martin, will leave service now with over half a minute of a lead. But before they start day 2 of the rally, they must finish that 2.3 kilometre stage in Newton Ards.
Yes, just a 2.3 kilometre stage remaining. However, it caused quite a bit of drama. The weather conditions weren't great and that didn't help matters. Our rally leader sent himself into a spin and dropped 10 seconds. Swedish driver Fredrik Olin also came a cropper, clipping a curb and damaging his suspension. Alistair Fisher set the fastest time to draw a little closer to Kajtanovic. And this is the way things stand at the end of day 1. Join us after the break as we head into day 2 here at the Circuit of Ireland. Welcome back to the Circuit of Ireland and round 3 of the Clonakilty Black Pudding Irish Tarmac Championship. The beautiful Northern Ireland coastline has attracted the rally cars and the fans in abundance. Many famous landmarks punctuate the route of this year's event. Day one here at the circuit brought us some incredible action. The weather made stages treacherously difficult, rain soaked the roads, and there was a fair bit of mud in places. Many drivers fell by the wayside. For 2015 circuit winner Craig Breen, things were going to plan. A 25-second lead in hand over ERC champion Kaito Kaitanovic. Alistair Fisher was in third overall and the leading Irish Tarmac Championship driver. In the National, Derek McGarity headed the field with almost 40 seconds in pocket over Wesley Patterson. Ollie Mellors had moved into third place on the final stage of day one. So let's take a look at where the drivers are heading on day two. This time it's south of Belfast, kicking off with Bucks Head. The longest stage of the day is perhaps the most famous, Hamilton's Folly, at just under 17 kilometres, complete with the jump. Weather-wise, it was looking a lot better than the opening day. The threat of rain loomed large, of course, but the sun was shining for the opening stages. Going into day two, Breen's lead was 25 seconds. He'd lost 10 on the short spectator stage at Newtonards on Friday night, so the pressure was still on. Kaito Kaitanovic was only 2.5 seconds ahead of Alistair Fisher, so the battle for second really was looking tasty. These Polish fans were hoping that their driver could walk away with a win this weekend.
Here with the Polish contingent to support Kaito.
Yes, Kaito Kajetanovic from Poland. Yes, we wait to see him on this stage. We was here last year to support him as well.
The Dutch fans were also on top form and keen to give us words of wisdom on Craig Breen's performance.
Craig Breen is out there at front. Do you think the win is going to go to the Irishman again this year?
Yeah, I think Breen will win. I think, yeah. He is the fastest man and the man with the biggest balls.
Well, there's no arguing with that, is there? And here is the man with the biggest hope to win this weekend. Our rally leaders, Craig Breen and Scott Martin. Unfortunately for Breen, a super soft tyre choice had not been the right one for the whole loop of stages, and he lost a chunk of time to Kaitanovic. After stage 10, that lead was slashed to just 10.4 seconds. Kaito smelt blood and put on a full charge, setting the fastest time on stage 9, Bulls Brook. There was everything to play for now. Fisher began the day just 2.5 seconds behind Kaitanovic, but at the end of the loop he was 12 behind. He really didn't want to risk the great position that he found himself in.
You know, obviously importantly as well, we're leading the Tarmac Championship, which is a must after Cork.
After the damage done on Newtonards last night, Frederick Olin was ready to challenge again. However, a puncture on Hamilton's Folly and 2 offs on Bulls Brook did not help matters. A further off on Banbridge meant game over for the Swede. Marty McCormack was in 4th overall and having a good run on day 2, up until stage 9, Bulls Brook, where a fuel pump issue heartbreakingly ended his rally. Josh Moffat and John Rowan came out fighting on day 2, getting ahead of Jaromir Tarabas and then benefiting from McCormack's retirement. They were up to 4th.
Middle over crest jump 4, Fishers, 150. Square 8, don't cut.
For Sam Moffat, stage 9, Bulls Brook, would be where his rally would end. He hit a bank and broke a steering arm. Jaromir Tarabas had lost position to Josh Moffat, but was still pushing on, trying to regain what he'd lost. Another driver who was pushing on day 2 was Johnny Greer, now up to 6th position overall.
Johnny, day 2 here at the Circuit of Ireland. Some great stages for you to tackle out there. How's it gone for you this morning?
Yeah, it's been okay. It's been an interesting run first in the road. The stage has been very clean, so not really looking forward to the second pass where the mud will get pulled out, but so far so good, happy enough.
Not far behind Johnny was David Bogie and Kevin Ray, just 5 seconds adrift, so a good battle there to watch. In the Fiesta R5, Tom Cave was experiencing gearbox problems, a continuing loss of oil, a worry for the 8th positioned Welsh crew. In 10th overall were Joe McGonigal and Kieran Geeney. They'd had a very heavy landing over the jump on Hamilton's Folly, and Joe was winded and hurt his back. They were unsure if they could continue, but Joe soldiered on. Robert Woodside and Alan Harriman were finally able to get to grips with their new machinery, the Fiesta R5, after some frustrating previous events. They lay in 11th position overall. In 9th overall was Stephen Wright and James Fulton, some good times across the morning stages, and just 10 seconds behind Tom Cave. Joe Conley certainly wasn't holding back on the jumps. This one on Hamilton's Folly was flat out. Not the best of landings, but they survived.
All right, square, well done. Go on, go. Turn right, we're okay.
The Circuit of Ireland rally, and Jason, you have flown in all the way from Philadelphia just for this event. That is some dedication.
That's absolutely right. Well, I came here, I didn't want to miss it, especially with the Irish Tarmac Championship, the British Championship, the European Championship, all at one rally. It's in the States, there's not too many people know about rallying, and so to come here where people have such a knowledge and share a passion of mine, it's very refreshing. So yeah, it's been brilliant.
Bobby, you're the event director of the Circuit of Ireland rally. It's day 2 now. How do you think it's going? As well as expected?
Oh, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. We've had people coming from all over. I've seen Spanish and Portuguese, and it's just wonderful. And they're all coming for the Circuit of Ireland rally.
Craig, you look a little bit stressed. The lead has been cut. What's gone on out there this morning? What's been the problem?
Not a big problem really. Just we chose quite a soft compound tire this morning to try and conserve everything. I thought it was going to be a lot wetter than it was. It wasn't, and look, it's damage limitation. We're still in the lead, so I'm not too worried about it.
Craig definitely not showing any signs of strain. No doubt Kaito will be keeping the pressure on though. Many talk of legends in rallying. This weekend, a true legend attended the Circuit of Ireland. 1981 World Rally Champion, Ari Vatanen.
I came here, it's incredible thing to say, 1975, right in the beginning of my career, for the first time for Donegal Rally. But we had a good time, epic battles with Jimmy McRae, Bertie Fisher, late Bertie Fisher, with many other people, and formed relationships, formed friendships. And here, in this part of the world, in Ireland, it is sincere, authentic.
Your son is competing out there this weekend, Max. What are your hopes for him here in Ireland?
Max it's his second event in R5 car, only the first one on Tarmac. So it will be a steep learning curve, but that's what you need to take bull by the horns, and he's leading very intense, meaningful life.
It may have been Max's first time at the circuit, but he showed his mettle and was 13th at the end of day 1. Unfortunately, a faulty sensor triggered the oil pressure alarm and forced them to retire. In the National Championship, McGarrity continued to lead the event, over a minute ahead of Ollie Mellors, who had now moved up to second place, with Wesley Patterson and Johnny Baird dropping to third.
Tight 3 right wet and the 4 left opens. Centre over, absolute crash, go 250. Waste. Oh. Keep her going. Mark up. Go along.
Also in the National, Niall Braniff and Jordan Murphy in their Mark II Escort were battling away on stage 8 when this happened.
170, 6 right over jumps, 40, and care, big crest jump, don't jump it, and 5 right. Oh, 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 oh. You okay? Get the car. Yep.
So this is how it stands in the International and the National here at the Circuit of Ireland.
We've seen some seriously competitive times this morning, and our rally leader Craig Breen is now feeling the pressure. That top spot is up for grabs. Join us for more action from the Circuit of Ireland Rally after the break.
Welcome back to the concluding stages of this year's Circuit of Ireland, round 3 of the Clonakilty Black Pudding Irish Tarmac Championship. The action on the stages across the weekend has captured the imagination of many. But the weather has decided to throw in a curveball. Heavy showers of hail have blanketed some of the stages white. The surface is like ice. Rally leaders Breen and Martin would have their work cut out. A puncture on the second run of Hamilton's Folly lost them 7 seconds to Kaitanovic. The lead was just 5 seconds now, and they only had 1 spare. After driving their hearts out, the pressure was mounting. Kaito sensed the opportunity was there for the second time today to steal the lead and pushed hard. During Hamilton's Folly, he came across a completely white road from the hail. Crazy conditions. Going into the final afternoon, Alistair Fisher was 12 seconds behind Kaitanovic. Fisher was keen to maintain third and walk away with maximum Irish tarmac points, so he kept risk to a minimum. Josh Moffat and John Rowan were another crew keen to get through and maintain position, and crucially keep ahead of Jaromir Tarabas. Tarabas was 5th overall and also struggling with conditions, hampered as many were by the hailstorm. On the final stage of the event, Tarabas went off the road. Poised to take away a good result from the circuit are Johnny Greer and Kirsty Riddick lying in 6th and dealing well with changeable conditions. Robert Woodside and Alan Harriman had a great event up until the final stages, when they slid wide, hit a tree and took a wheel off. Game over for the pair. Rain, hail, snow. It isn't a true challenge unless you get all the conditions, right? Let's take a look at some of our class winners. And scooping maximum points for the historic championship is Frank Cunningham and Gwynfor Jones.
Yeah, we came here knowing it was a very long and tough rally. I really didn't worry about where I was going to finish overall in the historics as long as I got maximum points. That was my big goal this weekend.
Taking victory in Class 15 were Ian Miller and Ronan O'Neill. With a strong field of drivers here this weekend, the action has been something special. Plenty of pace and plenty of offs. The R2 category and scooping maximum points with a confident drive this weekend were William Crichton and Liam Regan, finishing 7th overall in the R2 class, the leading Irish tarmac contenders.
Today was just about staying calm and driving to the end, driving through all the muck on the road. So yeah, we're very happy to be here and take away maximum points for our championship.
Taking the ultimate win in the R2 class though and the ERC Juniors was Polish driver Lukas Pieniczek. The Group N battle between brothers Patrick and Gus Kearney had been great to watch during the weekend. Gus and co-driver Thomas Hayes finished 30 seconds behind Patrick and co-driver Alistair Wiley. Patrick taking maximum championship points.
We spent 5 minutes in the field at Hamilton's Folly today, but we're home, we're in Belfast, so that's the most important thing. Everybody's safe.
Patrick and Stephen O'Brien finished second in Group N and 23rd overall. The outright Group N victory going to Wojciech Ciuchla and Daniel Damerski. In the National Championship, here are the top finishers. Modified Championship leader Ross Marshall and Dave Robson walk away with 11th and score 14 points for the championship. 10th overall is John Devlin and John McCarthy in their fabulous Talbot Sunbeam. Walking away with 9th, Fintan O'Grady and Ray Fitzpatrick. Jamie Jukes and Dave Williams take 8th overall in their Mitsubishi Mirage. Declan McNaughton and Sean Haid had been in podium contention, however they take 7th from the event. Alistair Cochrane and Ian Kidd in their Mark II seal 6th at the circuit. Scotsman Donny McDonald and his co-driver Andrew Falconer in their Mitsubishi take 5th overall in the National. Camillus Bradley and Crawford Henderson seal 4th after a good run this weekend. And into the top 3 in the National sees the Mark II of Wesley Patterson and Johnny Baird, who take full points in the Irish Tarmac Modified Championship.
Well, won the two-wheel drive and we kept the rest of them at bay, so 3rd overall, we're happy enough.
The Proton Super 2000 of Ollie Mellors and Ian Windress take 2nd overall. And leading the event from start to finish, Derek McGarity and Barry McNulty sealed the deal here at the circuit.
Well, another Circuit of Ireland under your belt, and I'm sure it was an enjoyable weekend for you.
Yeah, it was quite good. Would have been nice to do the international rally, but unfortunately my car's not eligible for it. So it was good to get round, but tricky few days now.
Let's take a look at the international section now and the ERC. Yaroslav Coulton in his Fiesta R5 finished in 10th position overall. After a few dramas during the weekend, Joe McGonigal and Kieran Geeney take home 9th and are the only Super 2000 car inside the top 10. Tom Cave had a gearbox issue for most of the final day. He and James Morgan persevered though, and they finished 8th. Stephen Wright and James Fulton walk away with a great 7th place overall. After an off at free practice, the event hadn't started well for David Bogey, but it certainly ended well with 6th. Johnny Greer and Kirsty Riddick take away 5th after a solid drive throughout the weekend. They claim points for both the Irish Tarmac Championship and the BRC. Josh Moffat and John Rowan claim 4th. They also win the British Rally Championship round here at the circuit. Plus, they now lead the Irish Tarmac Championship. That's a pretty good weekend, I'd say.
It's been a very tough weekend and the competition's been unbelievable, but that last stage especially, such a way to end the rally, like with no breaks for the last stage. It didn't make it easy, but we're here now anyway.
The top 3 international finishers kick off with Alistair Fisher and Gordon Noble. A well-deserved result where they showed their pace with a mature drive. They take maximum points for the Irish Tarmac Championship.
Very good weekend, great to get top points. We needed to capitalise really on other guys sort of dropping back, especially after a non-finish in Cork. It was good to pick up some top points here.
He had to settle for 2nd last year, and it's the same in 2016. Kaito Kaitanovic finishes runner-up here at the circuit. For Craig Breen and Scott Martin, the double was in sight. The weekend hadn't been plain sailing though. A spin, a puncture, but their phenomenal pace and true grit shone through to give them a second victory at the Circuit of Ireland. The emotion and the delight were evident from the pair, winners twice in a row. Will they be back for a third attempt?
Well, Craig, you've done the double. I know that it was a realisation of a dream the first time round. How does it feel this time?
I'm still starstruck, you know. I can't believe it's happened. We made this one so much more difficult on ourselves. Okay, we had a bad tyre choice this morning and fell behind a little bit, but we really dug deep this afternoon, and to pull it off 2 in a row, you know, what more can I say? I'm just delighted.
Celebrations are plenty for the international top 3 from the Circuit of Ireland. Confirmation of the results and our championship standings in the Clonakilty Black Pudding Irish Tarmac Championship. As you can see, it's a close run thing.
So the Waterford man, Craig Breen, with co-driver Scott Martin, have done the double here at the Circuit of Ireland. However, Alistair Fisher, he has also taken his first Tarmac win. But it's now Josh Moffat who leads the Irish Tarmac Rally Championship. That battle is definitely getting exciting, and the next round will bring us to the Killarney Rally of the Lakes. See you then.